Good morning. What a lesson do we have to learn today? This is hard. This is probably the hardest thing we're going to do next to cellular respiration because it's all chemical reactions and energy transfers inside of a leaf in the chloroplast across a membrane. So you could see, I just put the answers there. It just goes A, B, C all the way down through L, if you haven't figured that out. But this is where it's going to be happening. It's going to be happening right here in a thylakoid across this membrane. So you have the inside and you have the outside. And the outside's in a liquid called stroma. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to take the light energy, or the plant's going to take light energy. The wave is going to hit the photosystem, which is a cluster of pigments. Electrons are going to get excited and they're going to do work. What they're going to be doing is taking hydrogen ions from broken water molecules and pumping them inside this space, the thylakoid space. The electrons have now transferred the energy from the sun and built a concentration gradient of hydrogen ions in here, inside the space. They're going to look for a way out. When they find their way out, there's going to be another energy transfer to make two molecules that are going to go on to stage 2 of photosynthesis. So it's super complex what happens here, as you'll see in the next two pictures. But basically what's happening is an energy transfer. So let's go on to 8. This is the short version. There is your chloroplast and your reactant, water and sunlight and water for stage 1. In stage 2, that's when the carbon dioxide is going to be used. But in stage 1, which is what we're talking about, the light-dependent reactions, where the light is being used to transfer energy to two energy carriers for the next stage, stage 2, and oxygen is going to be made. So we're going to go from light energy, putting that energy into these carriers, and creating a waste product from the water being split. You can see O2, or oxygen's part of the water. So this is the big reaction, and I provided you with many, many videos so you can watch them to understand this. But that's it. That's part of your active reading. And I just annotated it so it's easier to understand. So, photosystem 1. Photosystem 1 is you can see the pigments embedded in the cell membrane. This is your photosystem, and the pigments have electrons. There's a magnesium ion in the pigments, and magnesium's a metal, so the electricity is going to hit the metal and excite the electrons. So light energy hits the photosystem, electrons get excited. Now this part here, I chose to illustrate this way. So here's the light energy hitting the photosystem, electrons get excited. To me, I always think of someone throwing a ball up a staircase, and then the ball has to bounce down. As it does, it releases energy. That released energy is going to pump hydrogen ions that came from the splitting of water. The sunlight splits the water. Water is basically hydrogen and oxygen. And a hydrogen atom is a hydrogen ion, a proton, and an electron. So the hydrogen ions that get created when water gets split, when light energy hits it, get pumped from the outside stroma, where the water is, inside this thylakoid space. So you're creating a concentration gradient with lots of hydrogen ions. You're using the electron energy to pump the hydrogen ions in from a lower concentration to a higher one. That's active transport. That's why they need the energy. Now that electron, when it's done and it's used up, it's going to fall into photosystem 1. It's like going to fall down the staircase and then rest right in photosystem 1. The electrons that got excited and left photosystem 2 are going to be replaced by the electrons from the hydrogen atom that gets broken into hydrogen ions and electrons. So those electrons are going to come in here. Now, in photosystem 1, light energy is also going to be hitting the pigment cluster. But here, the electrons are going to be used, the high energy electrons, once they get excited and they come down that electron transport chain, their energy is going to be given to this molecule, nicotine adenine dinucleotide phosphate, plus, charged plus the electrons, are going to reduce that to an energy carrier. Where's the energy? It's right here in that hydrogen ion where the electrons are. The hydrogen ions created when the water was split are now in high concentration inside the thylakoid, and they're going to come out this channel. They're going to rush through this gate like water behind a dam, and the dam opens. When they rush out, the energy is going to be used to attach a phosphate to ADP, making ATP, high energy molecule. And the hydrogen and the electrons are going to make this molecule here. So we've got used up hydrogen plus the electron energy to make this molecule. And then the ATP is going to use the energy from the hydrogen ions rushing through the channel. So when all is said and done, the energy from the sun is transferred to these two molecules, and oxygen gas is produced as a waste product. This is really hard to follow. I have supplied you with so many videos, Ricochet Science, Glenn Wolkenfeld. Just keep watching them. Let it sink in. You're not going to get this if you look at this once and close it down. So you have a lot of tools, you have a lot of resources. Good luck.